Hey everyone, it's Jasmine again. I'm back with a quick little video. And in today's video, before we actually get into today's video, if you haven't already subscribed, make sure you click that red button down below. It says subscribe, it's right there. It takes 1 second to do it, and when you do, you'll get notified every time I do upload a video. Now with that being said, let's get into today's video. So essentially, I want to touch on what happened when I stopped interacting with my friends and my family when I was dating my ex-narcissist. I don't talk about it that much because honestly, it's like a new revelation that I came to, that I really was isolating myself from friends and family, and I didn't even see it as that. I didn't notice it was happening until I look back in retrospect, and I'm like, all those memories I could have made didn't happen because I was so tied up in what was going on with my ex. And with all these things I do say on my channel, it's basically to be informative. We all are humans that make our own individual choices, whether it be good or bad choices. We all have the option to make a choice. And this is just so someone out there who sees this hopefully doesn't go down the same path, but in no way am I saying that, woe is me or anything like that, because I made the choice to do this, right? It's not a pity party for me. It's only for informative purposes only. Now, with that being said, I look back on a lot of things with this particular person, and I'm like, okay, I at first was perfectly fine. Like, when I look back on the beginning of the relationship, because first off, relationships when they first start, you're in the honeymoon period. Things seem really chill and, not bad at all. They actually seem pretty good. And that's how you get hooked into it at first. But for me, where my friends and family tie into it, I was still having very healthy communications with my friends and family. I would still get invited to events. It was still very, very healthy for me, and nothing really changed. It was actually very, very good, and I was definitely at a height in my life where I felt really, really fulfilling, and I felt great about everything, my circumstances, my friends and family. It was all very healthy, and it was all very fulfilling for me. Now, if I go into detail here, I was essentially, I don't want to say brainwashed, but I was kind of gradually over time made to feel like my friends and my family weren't of importance by this individual. I still felt like they were in my own way, but when you're in a relationship with someone who constantly doesn't want to show up to events, makes excuses for why they can't show up, that happens a lot to me. They would just essentially blow off social events that involved my friends, involved my family, when they pretty much, they demonize the people that you hold close in your life as, being bad influences or not being good for you in some way. Those are things you want to look out for, because when that happens, honestly, it seems like, since this is someone you're in a relationship with, you should be able to hear what they have to say, and you may not agree with it, but you kind of just chalk it up for, okay, this is their opinion, I'm going to somewhat adopt this opinion, I'm going to just kind of ride it out and be okay with it. And that was a compromise I made. I wish I didn't make that. Looking back on it, that was probably my immaturity speaking. Because I was young, I was very impressionable. I was probably like 18 at the time, and I just was like, okay, cool. And from there, it was like a slippery, slippery slope. When I tell you, people literally stopped inviting me to events. People stopped calling me. And it's not funny. It's actually really, really quite sad that not until recently, things are now 2020 vision. I didn't see it at the time. Little by little, friends that I had, I just disconnected from. And it's not even, just a normal falling out or anything like that, or just something normal like that. It was just on my end, I just kind of faded out. I just no longer became active in events. I never responded. I just kind of was so enthralled with what was going on with this person that it affected my family and friends and how they would interact with me. They just stopped at a certain point because, probably I was so involved with this person that I would bring them up all the time. I would, rush off to be with them, and that's the downside, a really big downside of these type of individuals when you're dating a narcissist. They take up a lot of your energy and a lot of your time. And when you're giving them that time and energy, you got to understand you're neglecting other people in your life that maybe deserve it and are healthy for you. And little by little, it wasn't intentional, but gradually over time, now that I look back on it, people that I actually had no issues with, that I had fun with, that were, enjoyable to be around, I realize now, like, what happened to these people? I know I didn't just erase phone numbers. I know that, we didn't have a falling out. It's just that after so many years passed of just forgetting that these people were there, they just gradually moved on with their lives and they started interacting with different people, and they just were like, hey, Jasmine is, she went MIA, so what are you going to do? And you can't blame people for that. If you become despondent and you're solely focused on one individual and one individual only, and all your energy is going to them, you have to understand that people are going to respect that. They're going to be like, okay, so-and-so is in a pretty involved relationship. Let me take a step back, let them do their own thing, especially if it happens continually over time where you're just gone. You're involved sometimes in a lot of drama too. Looking back on it, a healthy person, a healthy Jasmine now, wouldn't want to deal with that myself either. I would just focus on my own stuff and keep it pushing, keep it moving. So that is honestly the moral of today's video. I want to emphasize so wholeheartedly, especially to younger viewers. If you are younger and you're watching this video before years pass, realize that while it doesn't seem super big to you now, friendships and all this stuff, maybe you're looking for love that you maybe have never experienced. Maybe you're looking for some sort of closeness. Maybe you're just looking for a relationship and this is your first real relationship. But if someone's taking you away from your friends and family and painting them to be bad influences, or making you miss out on events and occasions and moments that you actually want to be a part of, you're really ripping yourself off, because those are things you cannot get back. Those are memories and even friendships that you cannot backtrack and replicate, right? So it's a gamble. Will this person be so important and so worth it down the line? In my case, they were not, and I learned that the hard way. I mean, there's always a 1 in a million chance. There's always that, case out of all of it where sometimes it works out, and people that try and isolate you and keep you solely focused on them, the relationship flourishes and it works out for you. But from what I've seen, it rarely ever works, because no one who loves you and cares about you will do that. They won't keep you away from things that you love and people you care about. They want to be involved with that themselves. So I just highly caution, if someone's doing the opposite of that and afraid to interact with your loved ones, afraid to really be present in your life and kind of blend that together with their own life, that's a problem. And you should never, ever, ever have to sacrifice who you are, what you do, what you're about, and the people you surround yourself with, unless you internally want to separate yourself from them, separate from your partner. That's different. If you feel like someone's toxic, if you feel like someone's bad for your relationship, that's fine. you can do that. But if you feel like part of you is being taken away, if you feel like, okay, I'm just making these decisions based off of them and what would make them feel good and what they think is a good idea for me, then you're being brainwashed, you're being manipulated. And it's so subtle at times with a narcissist that you will not even pick up on it and notice it, because it's so minute, it's so small when they do these things. And it doesn't hit you. In my case, it didn't hit me until I realized, oh crap, I am pretty much missing out on a lot of things, and I've missed out on a lot, and I can never get that back. I look back in retrospect and I'm like, okay, events that I was invited to, I didn't go to. When I invited my ex-narc to certain events, go play tennis or something fun, go bowling, something out of the blue, they would just deny it. They would just be like, well, I don't feel like going. Sorry, I'm not gonna go. You can go though. And as soon as you sense that that person has a problem with it, you automatically retract. You're like, okay, I'm not going to go and be with my friends and do things I actually wanted to do. Since you don't want to do it, I'm just going to hang out with you because that feels safe to me. That feels like I'm not being rejected. I'm being loved on this side. So I'm going to reject everything I know. And moral of the video is, don't do it. They're more often than not worth it. And if you have a partner right now that's doing this to you and isolating you from people in your immediate circle, people you love and care about, the thing to do is not to panic. It's not to blow up. It's not to get mad. But it's honestly to have a real conversation with this person and really ask yourself, is this something I'm okay with doing? And if the answer is no, and if you truly feel like, I kind of value myself and what makes me happy more, and I'm not willing to sacrifice this for someone else, then it may be better to cut ties. Because a behavior like that, it's not a one-off. It'll continue to happen over and over again if you don't check it and you don't stop them in their tracks. And it's tough to walk away from people that you think are your everything, that you think are your complete world, right? That you, in some cases, in the moment, you cannot see yourself being without. But that right there is essentially unhealthy. And if you can't be away from someone, if you feel dependent on someone like that, it's time to be on your own. It's time to be by yourself for a little bit so you can shake that feeling, because the longer you stay, the harder it'll be to really regain that sense of self that we all need to have in order to be healthy, functioning adults, young adults in some cases. So that's my 2 cents on that. Hopefully you guys found this very, very insightful. Hopefully my words resonated with someone out there who is going through it or is feeling like they're going down that path. And leave a comment down below if you feel like this kind of related to your own situation. And also remember to subscribe. As I did say before, all subscriptions are deeply appreciated. So thank you so much for watching. Again, be well, be safe, and take care, guys. Bye.